we would not be able to have that opportunity to vote. We never have that opportunity to be part of making a difference with our particular destiny in terms of our government, and that's what's so very important. And so that's why it is so important for us to have a chance to get you to implore you this afternoon to vote. I want to remind you that as long as you get to the polls by 7 o'clock this afternoon, you're going to be able to vote. And so just go and just get in line. Okay, we'll see if we can cycle candidate Rick Scott for governor in back on drive time. But let me bring in one of our good friends from Polk County, and Dennis Ross is running for United States Congress. And Dennis, good to see you.
Thank you, Bill. Good to be here. Very good to be here.
Tell us a little bit about this day. You're a veteran of getting out there and connecting with people. What a morning to have to campaign. This was something else, wasn't it?
Well, this time of August, we haven't had to worry about a heat stroke, that's for sure. It's been a unusually low turnout today, but we got an early start. We've been working the precincts, and I just hope that those conservative voters that are out there get out there and vote today. We still have time.
Now, you've been in Tallahassee, and now you want to go to Congress. Tell us a little bit about your vision now on what you see ahead of you by serving us in the U.S. Congress.
Well, if I'm fortunate enough to serve this constituency, I can tell you the first issue that we have to address is going to be jobs. And jobs is so interdependent with the other issues that include the economy, they include spending, and they include taxes. But unless we do something to incentivize private sector jobs, the rest of this isn't going to take care of itself. And the way we know government is not going to be able to sustain itself. We need to change government dramatically, and we need to take strong steps to make sure that we bring private sector jobs back to this economy.
How important, and of course you'd be succeeding Adam Putnam
right.
In that seat. And it looks like we might have a seat change. I'm listening to Dick Morris and some of the other people, looking at some of the numbers, and we thought maybe we might get the House. We wouldn't get the Senate. Well, now we're going to get the House. We might get the Senate. You, Dennis, may just find yourself in the majority. And how important it is to have that majority, and how important it is to turn back the clock on some of this move to the left we've seen in the last 12 months or so.
It's absolutely crucial. You see, if we're fortunate enough to get the majority, we've got the big task ahead of us as doing what we actually preach. We have to practice it. We've got to make some hard decisions, which include cutting $1 trillion from this budget. We've got to at least go back to pre-Obama spending. We've got to make sure we extend the Bush tax cuts. That's what this majority is going to have to do if the Republicans are fortunate enough to be that majority. It's going to be some difficult decisions that have to be made, but for the good of this country and for the good of the conservative movement, those decisions must be made.
I like the district you're running in, and of course you're running from Polk County. I live over in Hillsborough County, but when you get into some of the areas like Polk County, that's just like, that's old-time Florida. That's traditional family values, and so you're going to be representing a group of people that you're actually going to go in the lion's den, because there's a lot of people up the Northeast who think they really know a little bit better, but you have a secret. How important it is for you to go up there and to fight for the type of family values that you've grown up in and that you've been representing for all these years.
You know, the best thing about serving in any elected capacity is coming home. Because when you come home, you're held accountable. You come home back to the people that sent you there. And I've been very fortunate that I have represented both in the Florida legislature my hometown, the place where I was born, the place where I got my start, where I started my business, the place where my kids are going to school and playing football. You know, that to me is what the American dream is all about. And it exists in this district, and it exists strongly in this district. If I'm fortunate enough to represent this district in Congress, believe me, I'll be a strong advocate for that American dream.
We can't develop this today, but I happen to know, because watching you serve in Tallahassee, there's no doubt in my mind that you're a man of principle. And we don't have time to work through what that principle is all about. But I know that when you believe in something, well, you know what, you're going to keep your ground. And we watch that in you. And I think that's an important characteristic, especially going to Congress, because it seems to be the higher up in office you get, the more temptations there are. There's a whole lot of more money involved. But you're a guy that's known for sticking to your guns. Tell me why that's important to you.
Well, it's important because one of the things I learned by voting my principles, that voting your principles is no longer the rule, it's the exception, and that's the wrong way. And you see, when I talk about being able to go back home, when I voted the way I did vote, and it was my principles, even though it may have been contrary to my party, I was received by my constituency so strongly because I went there and did what I said I was going to do. What you see Chris Christie doing in New Jersey is exactly what voting for your principles is all about. Having a principle-based leader and being able to follow through on those principles makes all the difference. If the voters don't like it, they can hold you accountable and vote you out. but they can never say you didn't vote on your principles. And I think that's truly the mark of a good leader, is to be able to do that.
And you're listening to the voice of Dennis Ross. He is my recommended candidate, by the way, for District 12 for the United States Congress, and he's in the primary today, and I'm pretty confident that he's going to be good to go. He'll be facing, I believe, a three-way race coming up in the fall in November. But again, that's District 12 for Congress. And we're going to have to take a break in just a minute. But if folks want to follow up with you and learn more about your campaign or maybe a contribution, give us your phone number or your web address.
Our website is www.electdennisross.com. You can make contributions. You can send us emails. You can give us ideas. We will respond. And you'll also see that I'm probably I am the only candidate in this race who goes into detail on the issues there, because we believe we need